No.
Evgeny's out there, was out there skating. Any change in status for him?
No, other than that, he's at the next step that he's starting to skate.
Mike, anything you'd like to say about Marcus Pettersson, Drew O'Connor?
Well, first and foremost, they're great people. They've been real good teammates here, a big part of the Penguins for quite some time, certainly in my tenure here. And they're both good players. I think Marcus is just a real good, solid defenseman, a terrific teammate. OC, I think there's another level to his game that is yet to be tapped into, and there's an opportunity for Vancouver to try to get that out of him. They're both they've been both very good players here for us. This is the hard part of the business, because when you build relationships with people, it's tough, but this is the business, and it's Kyle's responsibility and prerogative to try to move our team forward, and that's what he's trying to do. Those guys are going to a good place with good people there. We're very familiar with them, and so we wish them well.
But you're also very familiar with Danton, Heinen, having coached him before. Just when he's at his best, what can he add to the group?
Well, he's an opportunistic scorer. He can really shoot the puck. He's got a deceptive release. He has good offensive instincts. He can play in either of the special teams. I think he's a versatile player. He was a good player for us when we had him, and I think he'll fit into the group. We'll see, where we're going to put him, but obviously we're pretty familiar with this game.
Some of Kyle's biggest moves in the last 10 months have not only brought younger prospects and players into the system, but they've also brought you some NHL players too. Here, you talk about that, and you're getting a defenseman back. As a coach, is that encouraging, knowing that it's not just swapping out veterans on expiring contracts for futures, that you're also getting some assets that you can work with?
Yeah, it's our job to compete every day. The coaching staff, the players, we're in this thing together, and our expectations haven't changed. We're in a fight for the playoffs, and we're going to continue to fight to try to solidify a playoff spot. And a guy like Danton, Heinen, or Desharnais that can come into our lineup and potentially help us is an exciting prospect from our standpoint. So we're going to keep fighting. Our goal hasn't changed, and we'll take the group we have here. We'll try to maximize the group, and that's what our responsibility is to this. So we're excited about adding these guys to our dressing room, and we'll see where they fit in. We'll try to put them in positions to be successful. That's part of our job as coaches, and we'll go from there. But I think Kyle has done a good job at trying to help our group be competitive, and at the same time try to get a little bit younger and add some prospects to our overall organization, so that we can fill some of the depth and maybe some of the things that have been void here over the last little while for obvious reasons. To a certain extent, I think it's the cost of winning, and so there's parallel tracks, I think, that Kyle's trying to accomplish, and I think he's doing a good job at it. He's given us a chance to stay competitive, and that's what we're going to try to do.
Mike, after the Gensel trade last year, some of the guys in here went on to admit that the emotions of that situation may have seeped onto the ice and just impacted the overall team play. Just how do you prevent a repeat of that while balancing all those emotions of this current situation?
Well, I like to think we have that experience to draw on, and that should help us, that in and of itself. I also think it's our responsibility as players and coaches to control what we can, and that's what we'll do. And we've got a good group in here. They're good pros. Having said that, there's a human element to this stuff that's hard for guys. They build relationships. Marcus has been here for 7+ years, and OC has been here for 5 years or so, and these guys, they're a close-knit group. They build friendships both on the ice and off the ice, So there's a human element that we're all challenged to deal with, but that's the reality, and that's to a certain extent what we sign up for. And so we're going to control what we can. We're going to compete hard. I think we have good leadership, and we have an understanding of where we're at and where we're going to try to go.
Like usually trades like this happen more towards the deadline. This year, obviously, with the Four Nations, it seems like there's been around the league, trades are moving up a little bit. As somebody who's involved in the Four Nations, but also coaching this team, how does it change things when you get a move like this earlier before the deadline? And how do you anticipate it being for, maybe not so much with Danton coming back, but coming in, knowing that you're going to have this break, and then you're not going to be around, but then you'll be around? Sort of all that.
Yeah, I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to where the break falls or anything like that. To a certain extent, it probably will be helpful for guys to get their lives, so to speak, situated with respect to having, moving teams, whatever. I've always been a believer that when teams make trades a little bit earlier as a coach, it gives you an opportunity to assimilate guys into the group, figure out, where you're going to play them, how you're going to utilize them. There's always that feeling out process. You have ideas when players come in, but, until you actually put them in the positions on lines or in certain roles, you don't really know how it's going to play out until you see it. And usually my experience has been there's an adjustment process that everybody goes through. If you can get, an early trade that gives you an opportunity to go through that process with a little bit of runway, I have to believe that's only an advantage.
Like, how do you see